A lot of people think that prosperity is just money. But really, there's many, many other things that come under this auspices of prosperity. There's time and love and success and joy and comfort and beauty and wisdom and good health and money. You know, you can be very poor in time. If you feel really rushed all the time and always pressured, you have poverty in your time. But if you feel that you have all the time in the world and that whatever you want to finish, you'll get done and it will all happen, then you're really prosperous in time. And what about success? You know, if you feel that it's really way beyond your reach, then you're never going to get it. But if you feel that you can be successful, whatever that means to you, then that's wonderful. That's prosperity. Comfort. How many of you are prosperous in comfort? Or do you live lives that are really very uncomfortable and hard and tight? Wisdom. Do you have prosperity in wisdom? Do you feel that all the wisdom in the universe is available to you? Or do you think, oh, I'm just me and I don't know very much and, you know, I can't figure things out? If you feel that you're really connected with the universe and you really trust that part of you that's inside, then you can be absolutely prosperous in the abundance of wisdom. And what about love? Do you feel that you have an abundance of love? Or are you very poor in love? Is there just a little bit of it in your life? How about joy? Do you feel you're really prosperous and have an abundance of joy? Or is that something you just allow yourself a little bit of now and then? And you really are very poor in joy. And then what about beauty? Do you see beauty everywhere? Do you allow yourself to experience an abundance of beauty? And what about good health? Do you have no health? Is there very little? Are you poor in good health? Or are you prosperous and do you have an abundance of good health? And of course there's money then. There's money too. You know, what do you let yourself have? Are you poor in money or do you have an abundance of it? I like to use that image a lot of the ocean, standing in front of the ocean with a container in your hand. You know, and you're there and you have this container, but what is it? Is it a thimble with a hole in it? Is it a small cracked cup? Is it a mug? Is it a vase? Is it a quart jar or a pail or a bucket or a wash tub? Or do you have a pipeline? And remember, no matter how... A pipeline, run it right in. But no matter how much you have, whatever your container it is, and no matter how much you're taking from the ocean of life, and even though we're all standing there, we're not robbing each other, and there's plenty for everyone, and no matter how much we take, there is no way we're going to run that ocean dry. It's absolutely impossible. And if you can see yourself standing at the ocean of life in the same way, and remember, the container that you have is your consciousness, and you can always change your consciousness. And it doesn't matter if you came from poverty, doesn't matter where you came from, and it doesn't even matter what your parents' beliefs were, or if they came from the Depression, or whatever, because it's your consciousness and what you're choosing to think and believe about prosperity and your ability to deserve it is what's going to create it for you. See, it has nothing to do with getting. People always think, oh, I want to get this or I want to get this. It's really allowing yourself to accept, which is a different concept. When you're not having something that you want, it's because on some level you're not allowing yourself to accept it. But you see, life is here for us. It's here for us and it's here to support us in every way. But remember, what we give out, we get back. So if we're stingy with life, then life will be stingy with us. It's just that simple. If we steal from life, life will steal from us. If you take paper clips from the office or do your personal Xeroxing there, that's not fair game because it's the same old thing. What you give out, you get back. And what you're saying to the universe in a way is, I can't afford to take those things, have those things for myself. I don't have the ability to earn it. Therefore, I must take it from somebody. And that's poverty thinking. That never, ever, ever creates prosperity. Life is here for us, and there's an incredible abundance on this planet. Sometimes we only see our lack, but the abundance that is here is so enormous. There is an absolute abundance of money on this planet. There is so much money that we can't even count it. And yes, it is true that there are many people who have very little, but it has nothing to do with the amount of money that's here. It's a lack of consciousness. It's a not deserving, not accepting. The power that created us has put everything here for us, but it's up to us to deserve and to accept. That's what we need to do. You know, what we concentrate on increases. So you want to be very careful that you're not concentrating on debt and lack and bills and negativity, because that's what's going to increase it in our life. If you could concentrate on bills and see them as enemies, then they're going to be enemies, and you will never, ever have enough to really take care of them. Bills are wonderful things. It means that somebody has trusted us enough to give us their service or their product, knowing that we have the ability to pay it. And if we can welcome those bills with love and rejoice, and when you write a check out to pay it or you pay a bill, absolutely rejoice that you're able to do it and know that what you're sending out is coming back to you. See, too often we think, oh, another bill, or we write the check and say, oh, there isn't enough or whatever. But start feeling a good flow with this whole thing. Self-image is very important, because self-image, feeling good about yourself, is prosperity. Prosperity begins with that. Doesn't matter how much money you have, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're never going to enjoy it. And then look at your prosperity now, because everything that you do have in your life is a reflection of what you believe you deserve, what you believe about yourself. You know, look at your home. Is this a place that you really love to live in? Is it comfortable and joyous? Or is it cramped and dirty and always messy? The same thing with your car. You know, is your car something that you really don't even like? Or is it something that reflects the love you have for yourself? And what about your clothes? You know, are they just a bother and a nuisance and something you have to wear? Or is it something you really rejoice in? Because again, it's a reflection of you. And what about your bank account? You know, how do you feel about that? And what is the state of it? Are you friends with money, or is it an enemy? All these things are important, because what we have in our life is a reflection of ourselves. But remember, no matter where we are or whatever is happening, it's a reflection of ourselves, but it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. It's a thought about what you believe about yourself, what you believe about life, and what you believe you deserve. Now, let's take our little mirrors out for a moment. Our precious little mirrors that are so wonderful. How many people here do mirror work on a daily basis? Well, a few. How many people have never done mirror work? All right. Well, you're in for an interesting experience. The reason I like mirrors so much is that they really move you through stuck places, because they reflect to you almost instantly what your beliefs are that are against you. Okay, let's look into the mirror for a moment. Look into your eyes and just say to yourself, my biggest fear about money is... All right, just notice what comes up. What comes up? What is coming up when you do that? What sort of fears? When you do something in the mirror like this and a thought comes up, the good thing to do is to write it down. And if you're doing your affirmations in front of your mirror at home, always have a pad and a pencil with you and write down whatever that negative message is. And you don't even have to deal with it right then. But later on, you can sit down and maybe you'll have a list of them and say, wow, this is what I believe. No wonder I'm not having the prosperity that I want. You see, if we don't see what our negative messages are, It's very hard to change them. And what most of us do is when we hear or feel a negative message, we try to run from it. And we have all sorts of ways of doing that. I mean, people go to the extremes of drug and alcohol abuse and things like that. But there are lots of little ways that we run from our own barrier thoughts. And if we could, instead of that, accept them and examine them and turn them around, say, no, I don't want to believe that anymore. Remember, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. That's all we're dealing with, no matter how difficult it is. Feelings are thoughts in motion in the body. That's what they are. They have no entity of themselves. So we have a thought, we get a feeling, and then we get frightened of the feeling, or we try to run from it. But if we realize it's just the thought moving through our body, and the thought can be changed. So if you look at those things and you say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to believe this. And yours just came up, but it's probably an old one there. You know, and I don't want to feel that I'm going to lose money if I get it or something like that. I don't want to feel that I'm starving. I would rather choose to believe that I'm abundantly taken care of. I'm an extremely capable person. I can always create for myself. And I am always safe in the universe. You know, everything is supplied for me. We have to change these thoughts, and we must do them deliberately, because we're the people that are in charge. It's our minds. We think in our minds. Nobody else can do that. And we get the opportunity now of choosing what we want to think. When we were very little, we had a lot of stuff fed into us by our parents and other places around us. I mean, after all, we got it from relatives, we got it from neighbors, we got it from school, we got it from the church, we got it from television. All this stuff came in, and we're little, and we accept most of it. Very, very few small children really can say, no, that's nonsense, and I'm not going to believe that. Mostly children accept it and say, yes, yes, okay. But we're not little children now. We're adults, and we get to choose what we want to think. Only we have to look at what we are thinking at so we know what we need to change it to. You do not have to struggle in order to make money. If you really work at things that you love, you can usually bring in good money. If you work at things you hate, or if you have a belief that you don't deserve, then you won't have it. But the people who are telling you you have to work hard, they work hard, yes? Yes. And they don't make as much as you do.
They don't seem to have as, right.
Okay. Well, you know, do you want to, see, you've put out your hand and you've said, I'm willing to help you up. And they said, no, we're going to pull you down.
Right.
And which way do you want to go? See, I reach out my hand a lot to people. And if they take it and want to come up, that's wonderful. Then I can teach and we can really go places. But if they're going to try to drag me down, you know, I say bye, and I go work with somebody who really wants to come up out of the mud.
I see. Do you feel that money is an exchange of energy?
It's energy. It's exchange of services. That's all it is. It has no meaning in itself. And you know, a $10 bill is quite as spiritual as a rose. It's matter, it's form, it's energy, and it's what we give it. It's what we believe about it. We have so much stuff on money. I used to find it was much easier to teach a class on sexuality than it was on money, because when we get our money beliefs pushed, it's amazing how angry we get. Because they're very tied into us. Even though we may say, I want to prosper, we will put up barriers and fights and all sorts of things. If you're going to listen to people, listen to the winners. Listen to people who know what they're doing. Listen to people who've proved what they're doing. But remember, money problems or lack or having money is by right of consciousness. It's what we believe we deserve. First of all, you don't need my approval to live well. And what I believe really doesn't matter for you. If you've got it going so it works, enjoy it in any part of your life. You know, if your life is filled with love, don't listen to some miserable, lonely person tell you how to run your life. If your life is working well with money, don't let somebody whose life is not working with money tell you how to run it. And see, very often, remember, this happens with our parents too. You know, we'll have a parent who really had a miserable life. They come from a difficult place, and their own life is miserable. And then they will tell you how to run your life. You know, I like to think that we have a cosmic bank account, all of us. It's like a cosmic bank account. And we can put in deposits of affirmations, of positive thoughts, of believing we deserve. And we can eliminate the debts, the negative debts and negative thoughts and negative beliefs. We can take those out. And the more that you put in wonderful experiences and wonderful thoughts into your cosmic bank account, the more you will take out big dividends. Remember, your consciousness is the best bank account that you can have. What you do up here is far more important than what you do just in a bank account. Loving yourself pays enormous dividends. Enormous dividends. I know lots of people get upset because they say they're on a fixed income. But remember, who fixed it? Who fixed it? And it's a thing of consciousness. It can be changed. We want to realize that where we are is the totality of possibilities. Not a little bit, but the totality of possibilities. And all things are possible. We want to know that our job is only one channel of an infinite source. There's an incredible infinite source that supplies everything. From the air we breathe to the vegetation, to the plants and the animals and the planets and the stars and everything that's imaginable. And our jobs are like one channel. That's all it is. We can enlarge this enormously. Anything that's fixed, any fixed income in our life has been fixed by us, by an acceptance or a belief. So we want to enlarge that and really let it go. Think for a moment about money and success and work and bills and debt and envy and lack and guilt. How do you feel about that? What are your beliefs about it? What do you think about your work? Do you think work is a drudge that you have to go through? Or do you see it as something that you really love to do and enjoy? What do you feel about debt? Is debt something that really drags you down? Or do you just see it as something that you can take care of easily and you don't allow it to pile up? What is your belief about lack? Is lack something that's always in your life? Or can you see that lack could be something that's part of the past and is not part of what's going on now? Again, what do you feel about bills? Bills are these things that people get such stuff on. But they're only pieces of paper and saying somebody trusted us enough. And what about envy? Are you jealous and envious of people who have? And what about guilt? Do you really feel that you don't deserve? See, these are all poverty-oriented thinking patterns. Any negative thought that you have about money is poverty-oriented. So listen to what you say and listen to what you're thinking. I love the exercise of having people clean out their closets. Go and clean out your closets and your refrigerators. Take all the stuff in the closets that you haven't worn in a period of time and either sell it or give it away or burn it. But get it out so that you have room for the new. You want to make room for new stuff to come in. So clean out your closets, let it go. And as you're doing it, you say this thing of, I'm cleaning out the closets of my mind. Same thing with refrigerators. You know, is that a place where there's lots and lots of little bits of food stuck in the corners? Get it all out, clean it out, make room, because people who have very cluttered closets and very cluttered refrigerators have cluttered minds. They're not thinking clearly. It's just symbolic. That's all it is. It's symbolic of what we have in here. You know, you can do some wonderful affirmations in the morning when you get up. And again, I love this gesture because it's so symbolic, and it says to the universe, I'm ready, I'm ready. You know, and just say, I'm open and receptive to receiving all good. This is a wonderful day of prosperity. One of the affirmations that I've used for a long time is that my income is constantly increasing. Just that simple. My income is constantly increasing. And then I watch it happen. What we believe for ourselves is going to come true. And when we're doing our affirmations again, if you do a positive affirmation and the negative comes up, just say thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. You want to hear it. We don't want to run from the negative affirmation. But what we want to do is acknowledge it, but not give it power. Not give it power. So whatever's coming up. So when you hear them, write them down again. Write them down and give yourself a chance to then turn them around into positive affirmations. If you want to change your job, first of all, if you say, I hate this job, it is not going to get you what you want. All you're going to do is take dissatisfaction with you into the next job. What I like to tell people to do if they want to change a job, first of all, is bless this current job with love. Put a lot of love into it. Thank it for being there when you wanted it, when it was there, when you first got it. And know that you're now passing it on to somebody else that will love it and will probably do an even better job than you're doing. Then, in that state, then open yourself to a wonderful new position. Know that there are people out there that are looking for exactly what you have to offer, and that you're being brought together on the checkerboard of life. I love that image of, here you go, oh, hi, there you are. But you know, it's been happening like this for a while. And that you're working somewhere that uses your talents and abilities. You're being fulfilled. You're working with and for people that you love and that love you, and you're earning a good income. And it's in a beautiful location. You know, put it all in, and with that sort of atmosphere, then you can attract something wonderful to you. It's the same thing with an apartment or a home. If you want to move from where you are, don't run around saying, oh, I hate this apartment. Because you're not going to find something you really love, or if you do find something nice, you're going to find this awful dissatisfaction in it right away because you're taking your consciousness. When you moved to your apartment, it was wonderful. So put love into it and say, thank you for being here for me. We really had a good time, and now it's time for me to move on. And I know somebody else wonderful is going to come and live here. And then I'm opening myself to a wonderful new place to live in the perfect location, you know, with lots of light and sun and air. If that's important to you, it's very important to me. And put in everything that you want, and always add, at a price I can easily afford. At a price I can easily afford. Don't limit yourself and don't put something on there. Put it at a price I can easily afford. Then it's amazing what can come in. That is exactly what you want. Same thing with a car. If you want to leave the car that you have, if you want a new one, put love into it. Thank it for being there for you. And say, I'm moving on now. I'm moving to a wonderful new car. And I know somebody else will love you. The more you can do that, the better it is. The better it is. Now, to want something new in your life is not to deny what you have, unless you're releasing something. And then you don't have to deny it, but you can say, I'm letting it go because it no longer serves me. And now I want to create this new in my life and start the new affirmation going. And remember, if you have had experiences in your life that are not comfortable, on some level they're mirrors of you. We don't always like to hear that, but everything in our life is a mirror of us. So if something's happening out there that's not comfortable, we have to look inside and say, how are we creating it? What is it about me, or what is it within me that believes that I deserve this experience? Because otherwise we wouldn't bring it to us. So perhaps, I would say that perhaps a little more loving yourself would help. Because when you get that flowing, you won't bring in uncomfortable experiences. When I was a little girl, and then when I grew up and started out in the world, my self-esteem was so low, and I had such a terrible self-image that I created awful experiences, just terrible experiences. And that continued until gradually I learned how to use your mind, and that loving yourself is the way to bring good things into your life. And then my experiences changed. But, you know, if you just say, oh, well, it's scary, and if I open myself up, I'll get terrible things, you probably will, until you've changed whatever it is inside of you that attracts that. Once in Los Angeles, I was looking for an apartment. It took me 6 months. And when I was looking, I couldn't believe the junk that I was seeing. I kept saying, this is Los Angeles. It's filled with wonderful apartments. Where are they? All I could see was junky apartments that I wouldn't consider. And it took me 6 months. And then when I found the one that I wanted, it was magnificent. And the thing was that the building was being built. And I couldn't get it because it wasn't built yet. And when it was built, it was waiting for me. And sometimes that happens. You know, you look for something and you're not finding and you're not finding and you're not finding. There's a reason for that. Now, you know that you're going to get a wonderful place. Very often, all we do is exchange prosperity. Somebody gives you something and you right away give it back. You reciprocate. Or somebody takes you to lunch and you immediately have to take them to lunch. Or somebody gives you a gift and you immediately have to give them a gift. Learn to receive, learn to accept, learn to say thank you and just receive. And you know, if the universe likes to know that you can receive and not just exchange. And sometimes you don't need to give back to the person that gave to you. You'll give to somebody else at another time. But learn to accept. A lot of us have problems with that. We can give, but we can't. You know, and when somebody gives you a gift, smile and say thank you. That's all you need to do is smile and say thank you. You know, if somebody gave you a gift and you said to them, oh, it's the wrong size or it's the wrong color, I guarantee that person will never give you another gift. And the universe will say, this person doesn't want any good. You know, you accept graciously, and if it really isn't right for you, then you pass it on to somebody that can use it. Same thing with compliments. If somebody gives you a compliment, smile and say thank you. Just smile and say thank you. But remember, we're only dealing with thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. When we change our thinking, we change our reality. That's just that simple. So let's know some positive things for ourselves. We are open and receptive to wonderful new ideas. We allow prosperity to enter our lives on a level that it has never entered before. We deserve the best, and we are willing to accept. Our income is constantly increasing. We move away from poverty thinking into prosperity thinking. We love ourselves. We rejoice in who we are, and we know that life is here for us and will supply us with everything that we need. We move from success to success, from joy to joy, and from abundance to abundance. We are one with the power that created us, and we express for ourselves the greatness that we are. We are divine, magnificent expressions of life, and we are open and receptive to all good. And so it is. Thank you very much.